Miss Marvel has just been revealed as a mutant in the comics, and we're to break it down.
Polaris in the comic books recently is depicted with her coffee. Like, what is your ideal morning coffee situation?
When I do drink coffee, it's a black coffee hot with one Splenda. And I believe that's also what Lorna would drink in real life.
A daddy cable.
Daddy cable. I would love that. I would love.
Shout out to the Powers of X-Men podcast.
Hottest writers at Marvel Comics right now.
The Pretender's death. Like, be.
Right, familia, Power of X-Men, we're with. Do you love Power of X-Men?
I love Power of X-Men. Of course I do. Right? Yes, I do.
What's up, familia? Dayspring here with breaking news here at Power of X-Men. Miss Marvel is officially a mutant now in the comic books. No one saw that coming. Did you not see that coming? So I was supposed to get on a flight this morning at like 8 a.m. to my boss's wedding, which I was going to be the MC for. And I was staying with Mini Made It / Pedro. I'm sorry, the Mint and Toy Box. I think that's Pedro's new Instagram handle. But I was staying with him and my husband, and we went to the airport, and my flight was canceled. I was trying to get to Minneapolis, or was it not even in Minneapolis, in Milwaukee? I was trying to get into Milwaukee. I didn't even know where I was flying to. Hysterical. So I was trying to get to my destination. How about that? I was trying to get to my destination and couldn't make it. Looked at multiple airports. Everything was being sold out, or everything was delayed because the weather was kind of shitty here and shitty in Milwaukee. So we get a hotel room in our old neighborhood, and I was just like, oh gosh, I'm home. Like, I have the same view from my hotel room that I had at Skyloft, which is the name we gave our old apartment. And I was like, I'm just going to rest my eyes for a little bit. And as I was sleeping, I mean, you can tell, like, I just woke up. And as I was sleeping, I was like, oh, I love being home. I'm so lucky I have Pedro as a friend who welcomes us into his home. And then I look at my phone like 3 hours later, and it's blown up. Everyone's like, are you seeing this news? Are you seeing this news? And I'm like, what happened? I'm like, did I get canceled again? Or are people angry still about the photo that Ryan Reynolds posted and told me and No More Mutants that we were leaking something? I was like, no, we weren't. Anyways, but no, Miss Marvel is now officially a mutant in the comics, revealed today by EW. EW revealed it, folks. And let's break down the article. I have a lot of feels on this, but I want to break down the article because I'm of two minds here. On one hand, I'm like, I don't like this. I want better for Kamala. On the other hand, I'm like, I understand the business strategy here. And I think it's a good thing for the X-Men as an IP that they're going to acquire a character like Miss Marvel. Anyways, let's read the article first, because Iman Vellani is going to come in and co-write the series. It's a weird marketing tactic for me. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know Iman Vellani too well as an actor, as a creator. I didn't know she was a writer. I don't know if this is just a marketing ploy, but she's going to be co-writing the series. I don't know if she wants to write comics, which is great. If she wants to write comics, welcome to the fold, Iman Vellani. But like, if is this a Marvel editorial tactic just to get us excited? I don't know. Let's break down this article. Let's read the article. We're going to talk about our thoughts. I'm going to try to keep this as a quick episode because I do want to walk around today because the weather has finally cleared up. But all right, so released by EW today. Okay, guys, I am going to tell you something like really, really shady. I actually, right before I went to bed, I did see this headline pop up. But I just thought they announced a new series for Kamala. I didn't think that in the actual text. So we're going to talk about her being a mutant. I didn't read it because I thought the headline would be Miss Marvel joins the X-Men. Miss Marvel is now a mutant, but it was that she has a new series. So I did see this before I went to bed. Okay. Anyways, diving in, let's dive right into it. The Marvel star Iman Vellani is writing a new Miss Marvel comic. All right. And this was posted on Entertainment Weekly. Reports of Kamala Khan's death have been greatly exaggerated. Yes, of course. Of course. Everyone knew that she was coming back as a mutant. The second it was revealed that she died. I mean, Marvel was saying that this was going to get Zeb Wells in trouble, that people are going to be angry at him in conventions. I don't even think there have been conventions for him to attend to for people to be angry at. And then, of course, we knew she was going to come back as a mutant. In fact, yesterday we had a post-issue scene that Marvel released. Jonathan Loves X-Men posted the link on his Instagram stories. I clicked on it. It's a link to marvel.com where Cyclops is talking about how soon enough you'll understand why he isn't so sad about Kamala's death and why he didn't go to the funeral. Because he's being resurrected. He's being resurrected as a mutant. Okay. So reports of Kamala Khan's death have been greatly exaggerated. The superhero known as Miss Marvel valiantly sacrificed her life to save the universe earlier this year in Amazing Spider-Man number 26. Earlier this year, it's like 2 months ago. Simmer down there. Sometimes I wonder if these people actually read comics. I mean, I'm just saying. And was celebrated by her friend. Oh, I thought I was going to say celebrated by fans. I was like, fans did not like this story at all. I cannot believe even people who love Spider-Man, who love Kamala, were like, what the fuck is this? The story was not celebrated. Anyways, okay. And was celebrated by her friends, family, and fellow superheroes in this week's special issue, Fallen Friend, The Death of Miss Marvel. But as we all know, death is rarely permanent in superhero comics, unless you're Uncle Ben, Gwen Stacy, or Jean Grey for the 16 years that she was dead. It's not letting go that Jean was dead for almost 2 decades. But anyways, and Kamala is no exception. Good. I'm glad. She's a hot IP. She should be front and center. She'll soon be back on stands, and that's not even the biggest news. Iman Vellani, and that's not even the biggest news. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's fine. It's just it jumps into Iman Vellani, the actor who plays Kamala in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, starting with last year's Miss Marvel series on Disney Plus and continuing on the big screen with the Marvels later this year, will co-write the new comic alongside Miss Marvel TV writer Sabir Perzada. Carlos Gomez and Adam Gorham will handle the art, and Sarah Pichelli will provide the main covers. I thought the Miss Marvel series was so well written, except for that last post-credit scene where they revealed she was a mutant. I love Iman Vellani. I think that's so wonderful. What I was trying to say is before, it's like that's not even the biggest news. She's coming back as a mutant. That's a huge news. Listen, again, I love Iman Vellani. Congratulations. You're coming to write a comic book. If she has ambitions of being a comic book writer, welcome to the family. I want to see what you can do. Completely 100% welcoming her with arms wide open. But again, like what the big news is here is that she is coming back as a mutant. That is what all the fans care about. Like, I'm seeing how this is structured, like this article is structured because I did journalism my first 2 years at school. Again, like being tuned with the people who are going to be reading this article. The people reading this article are coming because she is a mutant. That should be right out of the gate. Iman Vellani, love you. Again, welcome to comic book writing, but her being a mutant, Miss Marvel being a mutant, is your headliner here. Okay, so Vellani tells EW, this was way scarier than joining the MCU for me. I mean, in fairness, I would be terrified to be a Marvel Comics writer in today's age. I mean, in fairness. Because then you have people like me who comment on everything you say. So yes, those projects feel like they live in their own dimension. So I guess I can separate myself easier. But you can hold a comic book, ! I've never written anything before in my entire life, but I have read many comics. So I just wrote what I would want to read. I was given a very professional tool to write what is essentially my own fan fiction. I don't know. Oh my God, that's a horrible quote. Where is a Disney publicist for her? No. Okay, so I guess this answers that question. She has had no ambitions of writing comics before, but She has now been given a professional tool to write her own fan fiction. No. I've always wanted to write a comic book before. I am a huge comic book reader. This is my dream come true. I want to tell the best Miss Marvel story. That is your quote. I want to tell the best Miss Marvel story, not I'm writing essentially my own fan fiction. No. No, why are you doing this to me? I'm like groggy. I'm like half asleep. No, you cannot. That was a horrible quote. Where is that Disney publicist protecting this actor? Actors should not be allowed to speak without a publicist. I love many actors. I have friends who are actors, but you need a publicist. You need to be, especially when you're dealing with us crazy fandoms who wake up from a nap and are ready to rant on a YouTube channel that has less than 1,000 subscribers about this. No, Iman Vellani, that breaks my heart that was your quote. Again, the quote should have been, I am so excited to do this. I want to deliver the best Miss Marvel story. I read so many comics. I've had ambitions of wanting to be a comic book writer myself. This is new frontier for me. I'm so excited. And my co-writer is going to be this. Maybe she gets better. Listen, I'm reading this article first time with you guys. So maybe it's going to get better. Maybe the quotes are going to get better. In a nod to that big revelation from the Miss Marvel series finale, the new comic will be titled Miss Marvel, the New Mutant. Like her on-screen counterpart, the comic book version of Kamala is officially a mutant now. That's also the explanation for why she's coming back so soon, because modern Marvel readers know that the X-Men have mastered the art of bringing mutants back to life. I want to make it very clear that we are not retconning her Inhuman origin. Good. That is a perfect origin story. That's a part of Kamala's identity that Marvel editorial and myself would very much like to keep and protect, Vellani says. Our book will absolutely reflect all those core themes of identity that the Miss Marvel comics have consistently explored. Only now there's a whole new label that Kamala has to learn to accept. It's going to be pretty crazy. Hopefully, those readers who are kind of getting into comics after the Disney Plus show are going to have something fun to look forward to on shelves. Good. I'm glad they're not going to retcon her being an Inhuman. I don't know what that means. Is she going to be half Inhuman, half mutant? Does that mean we can get Luna as half mutant and half Inhuman? You know, our favorite forgotten child of House of M, Luna, Pietro and Crystal's daughter. Listen, I'm all for that. I'm all for the hybrid. Do not retcon her Inhuman origin story. That comic, Miss Marvel, Volume 1, where she is out at a party in Jersey City, it's coming back and gets engulfed by the Terrigen Mist, wakes up, she's actually Carol Danvers, Warbird, Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, whatever her title was at the time. And it was all about her, you know, idolizing Carol and not feeling like a superhero, but really coming into her own. It is a beautiful read. Miss Marvel Volume 1. Miss Marvel Volume 1. I'm not doing it justice here because I'm groggy, but she's right. She's really right that it is a story about identity, coming to terms with who you are as a kid. It is perfect. Please do not ruin that story. That is a perfect story. That is an evergreen time. You know, Miss Marvel from that era is one of the few new characters or new approaches to characters that have stuck, that was well received. This is a fine quote that she said, where she was here like people were just getting into comics after seeing the Disney Plus series. I don't follow Nielsen, you know, streaming ratings or anything like that. I watch other people commenting on it. I really loved the Miss Marvel Disney Plus series. I came to the Marvel Disney Plus series because I was a fan of Miss Marvel, and I enjoyed it because it was an adaptation of that first volume of Miss Marvel. Again, I thought it was really well done. I don't know many people who were not Miss Marvel fans who tuned in for the first time, loved the series so much, and then went to go find a Miss Marvel comic. I'm not saying those people don't exist. I am not saying those people don't exist, but I'm saying, do those people, were there enough of those people to justify a shift in the market? I don't know. So if someone else can educate me in the comments, I'm sure you will. Educate me in the comments or slide into my DMs at Power of X-Men on Instagram. But I would dare say I don't think the Disney Plus show created new fans of Miss Marvel from a comic book reading perspective. I think it expanded the IP, but I'm going to say I think Miss Marvel was very popular before the Disney Plus series. I mean, if you want to know how popular the character was, Alex in Modern Family had a poster of her up in her dorm. That's how popular this character was at the time she was created. Everyone was talking about Kamala. So, this could be a situation where I am just a grandpa and I remember things as if they were yesterday, but it has been so many years. Okay. But I'm telling you, everyone loves Kamala. No one had any grievance with Kamala as a character until they made her a mutant at the end. That's it. She's a perfect character. Look how great she looks. And even now, seeing her in this X-Men costume, I'm like, oh God, that's beautiful costume. Beautiful costume. Those designs are gorgeous. The new series also features a redesigned costume for Kamala, which highlights her newfound identity as a mutant, with X-Men logos replacing the traditional Miss Marvel lightning bolt that dates back to Carol Danvers. Like Kamala's original costume, this one was designed by McClevey. Sorry, I know I'm getting everyone's name wrong in the stream. I'm sorry. I literally don't know how to pronounce anything. Vellani says she's such a big fan of McClevey, who, in addition to design work, has done art on Young Avengers. Yeah, so Young Avengers Volume 2 is what he did when they came back. Moving from TV to comics also let Perzada and Vellani play with Kamala's comic book powers, which allow her to change the size of her body, either whole or in part, rather than her MCU powers, which are more energy-based. Oh my God, I loved it. You can do anything with those stretchy powers, Vellani says. I like to make it a little vague enough for the artist to surprise me when I get the sketches back, and they always do. It honestly is so liberating to be able to pitch ideas and everything gets accepted because they can just draw it. There's no need to worry about budgets or effects. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I remember when I was reading the Charmed comics and the Buffy comics, that you're not limited by VFX or studio budgets. You can, whatever you think of, you can draw there. That's a wonderful comment. I love that. That should have been your opening comment for this article. Echoing the dream of every nerd in the world, Vellani adds, it's so awesome to be able to contribute to the official Marvel Comics canon. So she's not writing an alt-world story. This is 616 Kamala Khan. Yeah. Okay, so let's dissect everything. All right, let me dissect my feelings, and we can talk about it in the comments, or DMs on Power of X-Men. Kamala, yes, was originally conceived as a mutant, but because of the Fox X-Men movie rights and the fact that Disney did not have the movie rights to the X-Men at the time, Disney started phasing the X-Men out. There was a mandate sent to other companies who produce statues or figures that they weren't allowed to push the X-Men. So Kamala was then turned into an Inhuman. And Inhumans were gaining a lot of popularity during the time of her creation. Okay, the Inhumans were being thrusted front and center. You had several Inhuman titles going on. You had the TV show, which was poorly received, and that's why the Inhumans did not take off. Sadly, one of the rare misfires of Marvel back in the day. But in fairness, this was the TV division. It wasn't like the Marvel Studios Kevin Feige's sector. But anyways, so we got a crossover called Inhumans versus X-Men IVX, and it just created a lot of bad blood with X-Men fans because we honestly believed that the X-Men were being phased out of the comics. They were being marginalized. There were significantly less titles. There was a point in comic books, Cyclops, Wolverine, Xavier, and Jean were all dead. I mean, those are some of your biggest X-Men, and they were just dead, right? And it created a lot of bad blood. There was editorial, and listen, this is a time where some of the editors were on Formspring, and they would troll the readers. And listen, I get it. We are horrible comic book fans. We're loud. We're very territorial of our characters. I get it. Trust me, I understand. I experienced a sliver of this when we posted the Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman reveal that they themselves revealed as marketing for their movie of Wolverine in his yellow suit. People were coming after me and Ralph on it. And so like, I get it. I understand. Like, man, you get that daily. You're going to be facetious with your audience, but you should be trained at a certain point. And I don't think they had a certain point to deal with this. And I just do not think the Marvel editorial had the foresight to see that one day there will be a Fox Disney merger and this IP would morph into a mutant, right? This is also, you have to understand, we lost Wanda and Pietro as mutants. And, right now, they really do make it feel that Magneto, regardless of, biological status, is their father. But at the time, they were severed. I mean, this is what kills me. At the time, Magneto was severed from Wanda and Pietro. It's like, nope, they're not mutants. They're not biologically related. They are not family. Everyone's going their own ways. So we were all very nervous, like this wasn't well handled. So now that the Inhumans as an IP are dead after you were pushing the Inhumans, after you were trying to make Inhumans happen for a very long time. And by the way, Crystal, Medusa, Lockjaw, Black Bolt. I love those characters. I love the Inhumans. In fairness, pre in the MCU, the Inhumans were never a really popular franchise, right? But the idea was at the time that the Terrigen Mist was circling the globe and anyone can be an Inhuman. You can turn into an Inhuman. Just like an X-Men. Anyone could be a mutant, right? Like it could just be activated. And that's how Kamala kind of came up. So because the Inhumans franchise did not take off, and now everyone is dying for the X-Men to be in the MCU since the Fox Disney deal. Now, all of a sudden, we have to accept that Kamala is a mutant now. And no, I'm sorry, you worked really hard to make this character not a mutant. And that's fine. She's great as not a mutant. Here's some of the worries I have. I think Kamala is a wonderful character. And there's so many young mutants on Krakoa that are not getting their dues. So is Kamala just going to be another one of those mutants you shuffle in there? Like, I don't know. It's not settling well for me. I wish she would just come back and be an Inhuman and star in her own book, put her on the Avengers, put her on the Young Avengers, put her on the Defenders, put her on whatever title you want, and let her lead that team because she's a great character. She's a fun, geeky character, right? Kamala's supposed to be emblematic of the reader because we're all like big geeky people. But putting her on as part of the X-Men, especially during Fall of X where things are going to change, I don't know. I don't think this is a good jumping on point for the character, but that's just my opinion here, Familia. You guys let me know your feels in the comments below or in our DMs. Are you excited to see Kamala as a mutant? Hey, if you are, that's great. Just let's get other people excited for your reasons. Tell us why you're excited that Kamala is being a mutant. It's going to really excite you. And if you're not, just be respectful. Like some people are excited for this news, but that's okay. There's some of us like me who have had to suffer from IP decisions that really impact us, right? Like Franklin not being a mutant, Wanda not being a mutant, Pietro not being a mutant, and the fact that, like in the MCU, the first honor of being an official mutant in the MCU 616 proper is Kamala, which at the time of her reveal, like a year ago, she wasn't a mutant. So you're like, I guess that's gonna change next year or later down the line. So let us know your feelings. Drop them below, and we'll continue watching the story as it unfolds.